America is really going to have to dig themselves out of this one. And I really don't have any sympathy for banks anymore at all. I don't have any sympathy for any type of financial institution that runs under the capitalistic system that we work in today, because it's really a system that rewards the elite, as everybody knows. But unfortunately, we're going to really see how Bank of America gets hit hard by Julian Assange, and maybe some of these high capitalist people can really come to light and see just how powerful the internet is once they get attacked. I expect the information about Bank of America from Julian Assange to be broadcasted all over the internet, all over the TV. There's probably going to be a lot of information, probably a lot of lawsuits. The people who are backing up Bank of America right now from any of this information that's about to come out, they're trying to do outlandish things like buying up domain names and buying up domain names that could potentially hurt their image, which, I mean, in all honesty, if they're buying up domain names attached to Bank of America and the domain names have information associated with whatever they're being accused of, that just makes them all the more guilty. So when it comes to banking institutions, really don't have any, I don't care about them anymore. It's a system that is only worshipped by the people who are rich. And there needs to be a new economic system coming into play, especially some kind of major upgrade in the economic system we live in today. And these internet attacks are just the start of a cyber war. And right now, what most people don't understand is these really big companies that have millions and millions and millions of accounts. Just to name a few, for example, State Farm, Bank of America, Chase, JP Morgan, pretty much anything that's associated with major financing from any standpoint, major customer bases can really be hurt. And as we kind of move towards the next 10 or 15 years of economic progression, I think that people are going to start realizing that capitalism is on the way out, and resource-based economics are something that is really going to come into play. Speaking for the stock market right now, the stock market is all the stuff that you see on TV about the stock market being low and all that kind of, most of the stuff on CNN, Fox News, MSNBC is a bunch of BS. I wouldn't believe anything that's said on there. Especially those kind of corporations are going to be the same ones that are going to be backing up, like Bank of America and stuff like that. With all the information that's been published now with WikiLeaks, I really see that the international bankers are starting to understand just how powerful the black hat hackers that are associated with all these groups are. For example, it wasn't known to the public, but yesterday, or a couple days ago, PayPal, Chase, all the ATMs for Chase, JP Morgan, were all shut down for about 6 hours and were unable to be used. There's a lot of hacking going on right now. And just to take into light how powerful these hackers are, I want you to imagine a data center that's underground, and I want you to imagine a computer, like just your everyday computer, but I want you to imagine that it's worth about $20,000 and it's about 100 times more powerful. And when I mean powerful, I mean that it can send data. And in data flow, what's about to happen to Bank of America is they're about to get pounded by all kind of hackers in all these different groups. WikiLeaks is not the only one, but when these groups catch light of what Julian Assange is about to publish, Bank of America, not only just Bank of America, but other banks are getting hit. These banks are going to start getting a lot of hacking going on, and most of these banks are running on Windows platforms. They're running on extremely old Windows platforms that have major vulnerabilities. We're going to see catastrophic financial failure from some of these banks in the next, I would say, in the next few days, if not maybe weeks. But the 6 hour downtime for stuff like that, and going into the past hacking when Facebook was hacked, when we were working with Injector. I mean, that's just simple stuff. This stuff with the banking is is it's not just, you know, a little girl's profile or some douchebag frat boy's profile that you're messing up or that you're shutting down and they freak out because they have Facebook. This is going to affect companies, major companies, government institutions, anything that handles financial for multiple people or groups of people or even large industrial groups are going to be affected by this kind of hacking because it's going to shut down. In internet banking, a lot of stuff is about to go down in the computer world. And back to imagining how these computers work, you have hundreds of computers stacked on top of each other that are doing nothing but transmitting packets. And that's what's called a denial of service attack. A denial of service is pretty much like every wannabe hacker's dream, but in reality, if you really want to conduct a denial of service attack, you have to have a ridiculously large amount of server power. We're not talking 100 servers, which is almost close to you know, $300,000 or $400,000 worth of server equipment. We're talking, these hackers are scientists that have powerful racks. We're talking of hundreds, sometimes thousands of servers, and they can attack from anywhere in the world, wherever they have this equipment, and they can shut down entire, just by denial of service attacks, they can shut down entire networks, and that's what's really about to start happening with. Bank of America is just going to be the start. I mean, when Julian Assange got arrested, the major reason that he's out of jail now is because of hackers. So you can only imagine, this is just the start. They're just starting to group. So over the next few months, you're really going to start seeing a lot of cyber warfare really come into play, and the old warfare is going to phase out as far as intelligence goes, and you're going to see a lot more cyber warfare. And there's going to be a lot of money in defending each side of the playing field. And honestly, when it comes to the playing field, Bank of America can shove it up their ass.